What's up, my glam dolls? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing very well today. It's been a whole week since I last filmed for you guys, so I apologize for the late uploads, and I'm so happy to finally sit down and get to review the Carnival 3 collection Love Tahiti palette by Stacey and Bperfect Cosmetics. Like, girl, I am so excited to finally create a look using this palette, because I've had this sitting in my vanity for almost a week and a half now. No, it's actually been almost 2 weeks since I had this palette, maybe longer. I'm so excited to finally create a look for you guys. So if you didn't know, Stacey Marie collaborated with Bperfect again, and she created this beautiful, stunning palette. This is the Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. And look at the packaging in this palette. As you guys know, on her last palettes with Bperfect Cosmetics, you know, the packaging she had before was very simple. So this is definitely a big change with her packaging in her palette. So this is like, I'm so in love with how this looks like. This is definitely going to be displayed in my vanity. So this is just a quick overview of how the palette looks like. This is how the back looks like. It just shows you pretty much what's in the palette. So before we hop on to the actual palette, I do want to say that I don't actually remember the price of this palette, so I will have it linked down below. So I don't know if you guys can tell, my voice is a little bit raspy, so I am gonna jump on to doing a voiceover in this video. So if you guys have not subscribed to my channel, definitely don't forget to click that subscribe button and join the family. We are growing as a family, and I'm so excited. I'm almost at 200 subscribers, which is insane, because girl, like, we are literally growing, and I see progress, and I just cannot wait for what the future holds for us. Definitely don't forget to like this video and join the glam squad. Turn on post notification up top so you guys can stay updated whenever I post a brand new video. So let's talk about the Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. So this palette comes with 31 vibrant matte shades, 4 dual shift pressed pigments, which, by the way, is the first time Bperfect actually created a pressed pigment in their whole entire collection. So this is amazing. And then it also has 3 metallics and 2 high pigment shimmers. And the pigmentation in this palette is absolutely stunning. Like, this is worth every penny in your pocket, because as you guys know, if you're a makeup artist, or if you just love makeup in general, like, this is definitely a good staple to have in your collection, especially if you do freelance makeup artists. So this is just an overview of how her last palette looks like. This is the Carnival XL Pro palette, and I absolutely love this palette. I did use this a couple times. I haven't really played with it as much as I should, and the shades in here has way more shades compared to the Love Tahiti palette, but obviously, like, the packaging is not comparable to the Love Tahiti palette. Like, this is just an overview of the size difference. I don't know if you guys can see. Carnival XL Pro palette is definitely bigger compared to the Love Tahiti palette, but girl, the packaging in this palette is just so stunning. Like, I do not have a palette that is as beautiful as this, so I'm super excited to have this in my collection. So the box do look exactly like the packaging of the palette. Even the back is the same. It has the same description and everything. So yeah, that's just a little heads up for you guys. And I don't know if you guys can tell by the camera, the letters in this palette is actually 3D, so you can see it and you can also feel it, which is so cute. I just love the vibrant colors in this palette. This is definitely Stacey Marie in this palette. If you guys follow her on Instagram, you know she loves those vibrant colors, and this just screams her name every time I look at it. So she did such an amazing job doing creating this palette. And honestly, guys, when this palette first launched, it was so crazy that the website was literally like jammed. Like, nobody could get into the website because of how many people was trying to order this palette, which is why I didn't get my hands on this until the second relaunch. So I'm so happy that I purchased this. Unfortunately, I didn't get the other ones because I wasn't really leaning towards the highlighters and the lip products that she had, and the lashes. Like, it just looks very, like, to me personally, the packaging on those did not really caught my eye. Like, the packaging on the highlighters and the lip gloss and the lipstick that she had kind of reminds me of like a drugstore product, in my opinion, especially for the price you're paying. Like, I personally feel like this right here is definitely worth every penny, but I don't know about the other ones. But then again, I have not tried it, so I don't know how the formula is. So Yeah, that's just a little heads up for you guys. She did launch more than just a palette. She had a whole collection. So let's go ahead and dive into the actual shadows in this palette. Girl, it does come in a big mirror. This is the shadow up close. It's absolutely beautiful. I am so excited to finally play with it. So yeah. So without further ado, before we hop into this video, definitely give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying my review so far and would like to see more. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. What's up, glam babies? Starting out with the eyes done already. I'm so in love with how this makeup look turned out. This palette is honestly so amazing. I highly recommend you guys purchasing this. So starting out with the eyes, I'm going to be using the P. Louise base in the shade Rumor Number 2. I've actually been enjoying this base as a concealer for my eyelid. So starting out with the shade The Deep, which is that really deep blue shade. I am taking this with my e.l.f. small blending brush, and I'm starting to actually use a different technique with makeup this time. So you know how I usually do a winged out look. This time I'm actually doing the shape a little bit more round, and I am really just packing this blue shade into my crease. You guys will see me go back with this shade a lot because I do want to make sure that this blue shade is as intense as I can get it. So now I'm actually using a small fluffy brush, and I'm just blending the outer edges of this blue shade so that it is all diffused and blended. Now I took the shade Lagoon using that same small fluffy brush, and I'm using this just to add more precision to this look. I absolutely love the way this blue shade blended with the dark blue. I think it's literally just a perfect shade for it, and I'm really just blending this on the outer corners of my crease and just on the outer edges, and I'm really just diffusing this, making sure that I keep doing that round shade look. I did use my color switch just to get rid of some excess products in that shade because I want to continue to blend out that outer edges and also use that same brush. And then I did hop into the shade Key Lime from the palette, which is an absolutely stunning lime green. This shadow is absolutely stunning, but I do want to point out that you do have to keep building this shade up for it to pop out a little more. And then I also took that black shade in the palette. I forgot the name of it, I apologize. And I'm using my Morphe brush, and I'm really just focusing this on the outer corners of my eyelids. And my favorite technique I've been doing for cut crease lately is using a micellar water and a cotton round, and I'm really just making sure that I create that sharp edge. This really helps if you are struggling with cutting your crease. And of course, I use a flat brush to create my cut crease. I'm literally just following that guideline I did with the micellar water and also the Q-tip. And now I'm using a fluffy brush just to blend that base a little more, because like I mentioned in the beginning, you want to make sure that this base is completely matte so that it blends properly. So now I'm going back in with that blue shade, and I am using that same e.l.f. blush. And you want to take your time doing this because like I mentioned, it is a little bit hard to blend your crease to the shadow and also to create that diffused look. So you really just want to take your time with this. And then I'm really going back in with that shade, and I'm just pressing it into the skin, and I'm doing the same technique with the black shade, and I'm just focusing this on the outer edges to create that dimension to the look. You want to make sure that both shades are blended. Taking the shade Fruity, this shade is absolutely stunning. It is so vibrant and so beautiful. I am using this with my Luxie angled fluffy brush, and I'm kind of doing a technique where it looks like I'm doing a winged eyeliner with my eyeshadows. That's literally like the technique I'm doing with all of the rest of the shades I'll be using on my lid. And I'm taking the shade Yellow now, and I'm doing the same technique with that brush, and I'm really just blending this into the lid, and I'm making sure that it is as vibrant as possible. And now I'm going back in with the shade Key Lime, and I actually went in and used a BH Cosmetics brush. This brush is so old, and I've had this in my collection for so long. And now I'm using the shade Tahiti Green which is a pressed pigment. This is a lime green pressed pigment, and I'm using that as my inner corner highlight, period, because this makeup look is turning out so freaking stunning. And I didn't show in this clip, but I went into my Jeffree Star cremated palette and I took the whitest shade. Now that the eyes are done, it's time to pop on some lashes. I did use my lashes from my On Fleek box subscription. Now moving on to the face, I've been loving this Water Glow Recipe face mist. It's absolutely stunning, and I've also been loving this fan that I got from Amazon. My favorite primer at the moment is the Fenty Hydrating Primer. I absolutely love this. I've been bouncing back and forth with this and also the Hard Candy primer, and now I'm using my Fenty Beauty Hydrating Foundation. I've actually been dry lately, so I've been loving some hydration on my skin, and I like to just dot this all over my face. I'm using this beauty blender I got from my BoxyCharm subscription. I'm not really a fan of this beauty blender because it was a little bit rough on the skin. And now I'm moving on to my favorite concealer at the moment, which is the Jouer High Coverage Concealer. If you guys have not used this concealer, you are definitely missing out because this concealer is so amazing. When I tell you guys, it just gives you the perfect coverage and also the perfect brightness. It's honestly amazing. Like, it's life-changing. I love it, and I'm definitely gonna have to restock and rebuy more because girl, I cannot run out of this concealer. It was a little hard to blend my concealer using this sponge because of how rough it is. Like, I am actually not a fan of that at all. I don't think I'll be using it again. So moving on to bronzer, I am using my Huda Beauty bronzer. This is in the shade Light, I believe, and I'm using a stippling brush to blend this out because that's just been my favorite technique to do lately. When I tell you guys this concealer is amazing, it's literally so bomb, and the blendability of this concealer is so easy to work with, and the coverage is amazing. It lasts all day. I highly recommend you guys purchasing this if you have not already. Luckily, I was able to purchase this when they had their sale on their website, so I did also purchase this Banana Bright powder. I got mine in the shade Banana Bright, I think. And then I realized that I had all of these powder on my black shirt, and I do love to use my sponge to apply my powder. This is just the way that gives my skin a really nice, flawless and smooth look. I haven't baked my under eyes in so long because of how dry my skin has been this season. I don't know why, but this is just my favorite technique to prevent any fine lines from peeking through. And now I'm using my Micro Smooth powder by Sephora. This has been my favorite powder at the moment. Like, at this point, I need to create a favorites video because everything that I use in this video is literally my favorite. So make sure you guys stay tuned. There's definitely going to be a September favorites coming up. So at the moment, I do not have a nude liner, so I ended up using my concealer, and you want to make sure you're careful with this because I actually ended up getting some concealer on my contacts, and girl, I had to clean that. And then I did hop in with that orange shade that I used on my eyelids, which is that yellow shade. Now I'm going in with the shade Coral and also Mango. These are the two shades I'll be using on my lower lash line, and I'm also going to be blending in some key lime to my lower lash line just to blend everything out so that it is all blended and seamless. I did use a flat brush, but this flat brush was a little bit too big for my lower lash line, so I hopped in with a small angled brush, and I'm just tight lining my lower lash line basically. And then right here I'm going in with key lime, and I'm really just blending this on my lower lash line just to make sure that everything goes well together. So finishing off the face, I of course hopped in with my Hoola by Bperfect. This is my absolute favorite bronzer at the moment. I do want to get my hands on the Give Me Sun by MAC, which I know I'm so late on having in my collection, but girl, I just really need to have that because everybody uses it and I need to hop on a trend. And of course I need to do some nose contouring, and this is what you guys are seeing right now. And what an oldie but a goodie, this is my favorite blush, which is the blush by Milani in the shade Luminoso. I've been using this blush for literally so long now, and I'm so happy to actually get this back in my hand in my collection because I thought they stopped selling it. But girl, when I saw it at Walmart, I was like, oh, I have to have it. Now moving on to highlighter, I'm going in with my Becca highlighter in the shade Champagne Pop. The more I use this highlighter, the more I realize that I'm not really like becoming a fan of it as much anymore, because as you guys can see, it's starting to pick up some of my bumps I have on my skin. Right here, I'm really feeling myself because girl, this makeup look is looking so good. Now moving on to our lips, I'm using the shade Bite Me by Morphe. If you guys have not used the Morphe lip liner, girl, you are definitely missing out. They have one of the best, the creamiest lip liners in my collection. So moving on to our liquid lipstick, you already know I'm going in with my Maybelline liquid lipstick in the shade Diver. I just cannot get my hands away from this liquid lipstick. It's absolutely stunning. It is literally just the perfect nude. Like, this liquid lipstick is literally the perfect nude, and I have to have another one because I think I'm running low, which is crazy to say. Now I'm going in with my Alamar Cosmetics lip gloss in the shade Dulce. This is my favorite nude lip gloss at the moment, and this definitely just finished off the look for me, and I'm so happy with how this makeup look turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed as well. So this is the completed makeup look using the Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette with Stacey Marie and Bperfect Cosmetics, and I am absolutely in love with how this makeup look turned out. Like, this palette honestly is one of those palettes where it's like, it's just so fun to just be creative, and honestly that's what happened while I was doing my makeup. Like, I was just like, alright, I'm gonna just play with colors, step out of my comfort zone, and I had so much fun creating this makeup look. I definitely recommend you guys purchasing this palette if you don't have it in your collection. Like, it's honestly so bomb. The pigmentation in this palette is so buttery. So I tried to use as much colors as I possibly can in my eyes, and I used about like 10 eyeshadows in this palette, one shimmery one, which is that neon green that you see in the inner corners, and I am so obsessed with how this makeup look turned out. I am literally so happy with how it looks. This is definitely out of my comfort zone, so I'm so excited to keep playing with this palette. You're definitely going to be seeing me play with this palette more on my channel, so definitely make sure you stay tuned. So if you enjoyed this makeup look and would like to see more using this palette, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below what makeup look you'd like to see next, and also don't forget to tag me on any brand new makeup that you want me to try, because I'm definitely all for buying new makeup. Don't forget to join the Glam Squad and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Turn that post notification up top so you can stay updated whenever I post a brand new video. So thank you guys so much for your love and support, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!